What's up, bro?
Oh,
My
it's
name
good.
is Michael. I'm a local artist. Would you be interested in getting your portrait painted?
Oh, sure. Why not?
And so it's free and it's only 20 minutes. So,
Oh,
I
let's get
mean,
let's
I'm
get
already
let's
glad
get it
you
let's
said
get it
yes.
going.
What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Jafar Aziz. I am a student at Texas A&M. I'm currently studying applied mathematics and computing. I'm also a content creator on the side. So I make YouTube videos, comedy shorts, skits, a little bit of everything. I've done interviews, gaming videos.
Now, applied mathematics and computing. To do that, you gotta be somewhat smart. So,
Yeah.
what brought you into that specific realm?
Um, it's a little bit funny. So in high school, I was very much a computer science person. I did a lot of computer science. I wouldn't call myself like the smartest person, but I guess in terms of what other people consider smart, I would be pretty up there.
Yeah.
So I used to do a lot of computer science, but when I got into college, I wasn't so sure about what I wanted to do. And it wasn't the fact that I wasn't good at computer science. Like I was good at doing computer science, but I didn't really have a lot of passion for it.
Yeah.
So eventually after like 2 years, I was like, oh, I kind of want to do something else. And I found applied mathematics and computing not necessarily as something that was going to be like my future in terms of career, but like it was something that I could move to where I would at least be a little bit easier for me to do my classes and get through college.
Yeah.
And then I can start looking more of like, what my passion is and the things I actually want to do, like such as marketing or content creating.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's that's well planned. Me personally, I went into college blind and I had no idea what I was doing. So you got your stuff mapped out very well. But what's your dream?
My dream, I guess for say I have a lot of dreams, right? I would love to go to the moon. Like
Wow.
I think that's a crazy dream, but I would love to go to the moon. But I think the biggest thing is that what I want to do is I want to have a big impact, and I want to be able to motivate people and to show people that things are possible.
I love that.
Not to doubt yourself, and to also just motivate people to, I guess, be more mindful of their character.
Yeah.
I'm a Muslim, and as a Muslim, one of the biggest things that is important in our religion is good character. So I would love to motivate people to have a good character and be the best person they can be towards other people.
That's amazing. What's you said you're Muslim. What's a common stereotype about Muslims?
I mean, there's a lot of them. I feel, I guess, the most important stereotype to talk about would be a lot of people consider Muslims to be like violent people or people who are full of hate, which I would say is the most far from the truth. I think a lot, and this is something people who have lived with or have been around Muslims can testify to, is that most Muslims are going to be the most generous people and the most kind-hearted people that you're ever going to meet, and they're always willing to help out. And at least something in Houston, for example, is that you'll find this not just something with Muslims, but even Christians too. Like, for example, during Harvey, I just moved to Houston during Harvey, and like I remember there was a lot of rebuilding. So I remember there were Muslim groups who went to help Christians rebuild their churches,
That's
and also
amazing.
Christian groups have helped Muslims rebuild their masjids as well. So
That's awesome. So, how do you balance the comedy and then let me rephrase this. It's hard to phrase this question. Okay, I wrote out questions for you because I had specific questions I didn't want it to get wrong. So, how do you balance comedy and respect when discussing sensitive topics related to Muslim culture?
this is a question that it goes actually even beyond, I would say, Muslim culture. I think it goes even just to any culture because I also do a lot of satire as well. So the question becomes, how do you balance the comedy in a way where nobody's going to be offended?
Okay.
And the short answer is that people are always going to be offended. That's something you realize, and especially when you're talking about like doing Islamic topics, I guess, in comedy, a lot of people are offended. But you find solace in the fact that first of all, is that what intention are you trying to bring? Are you trying to uplift people, or are you trying to bring people down? And if your goal is to bring people down, then you failed in the beginning because you're trying to do something negative. But if
Yeah.
your goal is to bring people up, which has been my goal, then I've started with the positive thing, and what comes after that, you want to be positive. But the second response to that as well is that I'm someone who I wouldn't consider myself to be like a scholar per se, but I'm someone who at least knows my religion to a
Yeah.
good amount, and I'm also well connected with scholars and like people who are actually learned in the religion. And so I always bounce ideas back with them and like ask them, hey, do you think this is appropriate? And they'll tell me, give me a yes or no. And but this is something people who don't like, I guess, know the in and outs, what's going beyond, like behind the scenes would know. But like,
Yeah.
I've removed a lot of videos. Sometimes I take videos down because of the the opinions of scholars and other people saying,
Yeah.
oh, I don't think this video is appropriate, or I don't think this video is pushing the correct message.
Yeah, and I think that's amazing that you understand that, and like, it's every content's a learning process, man. This whole new generation of content is just a lot is going in and out, and a lot of lines are blurred. But you definitely, it's. I asked you that question because it seems like you 100%, or I know you 100% know what you're talking about from talking to you right now. So it's good that you actually respect the boundaries of others. But yeah, you're right. A lot of people are going to be hating. So a lighter subject. What's like a funny thing that happened to you, or if you have an instance, a funny thing that happened to you during Ramadan or another holiday?
Uh, it's always hard to think of funny stories on the
Yeah,
spot.
I know. You can take your time. Or
Um, Can it just be any story,
yeah,
or
yeah.
it
Let's
could just
just
be
do a
any
funny
story?
story. Yeah.
Damn, why is this so hard?
Yeah. Or do you have any content that inspired, or something that happened to you in life that kind of inspired something in a video you created?
In a video? Oh, that's a hard one too. I feel like I have some.
It's just on the spot.
Okay, so if we're talking like inspiring content, um, I am someone. So I became a content creator a little bit over a year ago, and like this would probably come as a surprise to people. Be like, oh, you've done so, like in terms of content, like you've achieved a lot, right? But before I became a content creator, I used to watch content. Like, there's a lot of people and some content creators that like who follow me now, and I'll be like, I used to watch your content like before I became a content creator.
That's awesome.
So there's a lot of like, I guess, pieces of content that have inspired me to make other pieces of content.
Yeah.
Some that I could mention are. I don't know if you know who there's these two white guys who make Batman comedy videos where basically some guy does a small little like thing, a small little like misdemeanor, and then Batman just beats them up for it. And so I actually made a video where Batman is being racist, essentially, like
Oh,
racially
that's
profiling me,
crazy.
and that is like, I think, probably the funniest, like in terms of I consider funny video I've made in like the
Yeah.
last like month or two.
Wow. Wow. So, you know, there's a lot of positives with like, growing your own personal brand, but a lot of people don't talk about the challenges. What sort of challenges have you faced, just getting to where you are today?
In terms of getting to where I am, or challenges I've faced as a result of where I am.
Either or.
I think the I think the one that's more, I guess, insightful is I guess challenges I faced as a result of where I am now. And before I became a content creator, and even now, I'm not the most social person. I'm more of like an ambivert, somewhere in the middle. Like sometimes I can be very social, and other times I'm like very recluse, like
Yeah.
to myself kind of person. So becoming a content creator, and especially becoming a content creator within a more specific niche, means that people within that niche, and obviously in terms of Instagram, my niche should be Muslims,
Yeah.
they began to know me more. And what I found about that is that it's challenging in the sense that I didn't have the opportunity anymore to introduce myself to people. And this is kind of, and this would be a weird thing. Like people be like, what do you mean? And what I mean by that is that sometimes when I meet people, it was kind of, they already had their own preconceived notions of who I am or who they wanted me to be in their head based on what they'd seen online.
Ooh.
So people would meet me and, they have whatever they think in their head I'm supposed to be. And in reality, I mean, I'm just not that guy. I'm not the
Yeah.
guy they're expecting to meet. And for both good and bad ways, like it's good and bad in some ways, but sometimes the one thing I would wish I could still have is that novelty of being able to kind of meet anyone and they not have a preconceived notion based on my content.
That's amazing. So, with all this, uh, what piece of advice would you give an aspiring comedian or content creator?
I think the biggest piece of advice, and I think it's very pertinent to, I guess, our generation and content moving forward, is that when you're making content, have a greater purpose both in how you're making the content and in your own personal beliefs, and as well in the output of the content. I think a lot of people fall into the trap of trying to make content specifically for fame or just trying to grow the content without having any purpose behind it. And that's where you get, I would say, some of the more degenerate content forms where you have people kind of just doing anything for views.
Yeah.
And I think that people should strive, at least, if you're going to be a content creator, you should strive to have more of an impact than just views. Don't make your content's legacy be only to get views or to get reactions. Have there be something else. Maybe it's to make people laugh. Maybe it's to help bring people's day up or to inspire somebody. But center your content around some other greater goal so that it's not just getting views and getting likes and that kind of thing.
And then, what piece of advice would you give to your younger self?
To my younger self, I think the biggest piece of advice I'd give to my younger self is enjoy the moment, like where you are, because I think when I was younger, my biggest flaw is that I was always looking to the next thing. I always wanted to be this before. I always wanted to be, I wanted to be an older age than I was at the time. I wanted to move through life fast.
Yeah.
And I think I would have benefited from just enjoying some of those moments and just enjoying where I was and not always looking to where I wanted to be or looking to the next step and just kind of enjoying the current step you're on right now.
I love that one. That's actually a really good one and unique, and I personally resonate with that one too. But are you ready to see the painting?
Yeah, let's see it.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Wow, wow. I look like an activist. This makes me look profound.
Hey, what you were saying was profound, bro. So
Wow, this is amazing.
I appreciate you for saying yes.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
This is crazy.